we did something fun. Last night we took the kids trick-or-treating. You ever do this? It's, I had a revelation last night, and that's this. If your kids don't say thank you when they get candy, you did a bad job. That's how you know. My dad was over our house yesterday. You know my dad, Guillermo.
Yes,
Clearly,
of
you
course.
certainly know him. We had an interesting conversation. My father grew up in Brooklyn, and so I'm getting the kids ready. I'm painting my daughter's face, and he said, I miss what we used to do on Halloween. I said, well, what did you do? He said, we go across the street to the apartment complex, ring the bells, fill your sack with candy, and then we go out in the street and hit each other over the head with socks filled with chalk. I was like, why? You would hit each other with socks filled with chalk? Yeah. Why, to leave like a chalk mark? He's like, yeah, they were black socks, and you were supposed to break up the chalk into little pieces, but nobody did. I said, did it hurt? He said, it hurt like hell. And then he added a confounding statement. He said, but I really think it was the safest thing you could do. I didn't ask any follow-up questions, but today, by the way, is a miraculous day, that miraculous day of the year when every Spirit Halloween store magically transforms into a Spirit Christmas store. And speaking of, I do want to mention, speaking of outdated pumpkins, Donald Trump was in Atlanta on Saturday night. He was at Game 4 of the World Series, and except for the part where Melania showed up, everything about that visit went exactly the way you might expect. First of all, Trump claims he was personally invited to the game by the Commissioner of Baseball, but a spokesperson for the Commissioner of Baseball says Trump invited himself to the game. I wonder who we should believe there. It was interesting that Trump wanted to go to the game in the first place, considering the fact that when the league moved the All-Star game out of Atlanta, he wrote, baseball's already losing tremendous numbers of fans, and now they leave Atlanta with their All-Star game because they're afraid of the radical left Democrats who don't want voter ID, which is desperately needed to have anything to do with our elections. Boycott baseball and all of the woke companies that are interfering with our free and fair elections. Are you listening, Coke, Delta, and all? Now, that was in April of this year. 6 months later, he's guzzling Diet Coke and doing the Tomahawk chop at a Braves game in Atlanta. The only exercise he gets is if it's something racist. People were wondering, you know, because they knew he was going to the Braves game. People were wondering if he would do the Tomahawk chop. Of course he would do the Tomahawk chop. I gave him 2 days before he started telling people he invented the Tomahawk chop. Trump has a lot of resentment toward Native Americans because they know how to run successful casinos, and he... But the star of the game, the top Trump at the game was Melania, who made her first public appearance since July, and she really seemed to have a terrific time. Just watch her closely here.
As we come back, third inning of game number 4 for
President
Donald Trump.
Now let's have another look at that in Slovenia motion. Wow, does the honeymoon for those two lovebirds ever end? If we can somehow harness the energy of Melania's hatred for Donald Trump, we could power the world. Speaking of power, Trump made another appearance Saturday night with Judge Jeanine Pirro, and this is quite an interview. The conversation turned to gas prices, and once again, the former president lashed out at one of his least explicable enemies.
And if you look at natural gas is very clean. We got windmills destroying our landscapes, killing all the birds.
And not necessarily
The energy
effective.
is so expensive. And you know where the turbines are made? Every one of them.
China.
Germany and China.
Yeah, they both start with a G, Germany and China. The windmills again with the windmills. He is so anti-windmill. If Trump hated windmills anymore, he'd start calling them Eric and Don Jr. It's really... So then Judge Jeanine asked Trump to grade the Biden administration, and he'll never guess what grade he gave them.
What grade would you give them?
Well, it's probably the worst presidency in history. I can't imagine. I used to say Jimmy Carter. I think you have to say an F, and not an F+. It would be an F. It's a failed administration. It's a disaster. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, well, we have. We've actually seen worse. It's one guy, I don't know if you remember, one guy tried to get us to drink bleach, in fact. Incidentally, F plus, Donald Trump's cup size. Did you know that? Thank you. President Biden is in Scotland right now for a UN conference on climate change. Joe met with Pope Francis over the weekend in Rome. There is the president with the Pope on Friday at the Vatican. And this is all you need to know. Look at that. There they are. Two men who've never satisfied a woman. Man, back here at home, people are being stranded at airports because there are not enough pilots or flight attendants. And a pilot for Southwest Airlines is now under investigation for reportedly saying, "Let's go Brandon," over the intercom during a flight from Houston to Albuquerque. "Let's go Brandon" has become code for F Joe Biden. This has been a tough year for people with the names Karen or Brandon. If you are a Karen or Brandon, my heart goes out to you. Honestly, though, hearing your pilot say anything political is scary. Imagine you go over to the Atlantic, you hear the pilot say, "Is your pilot speaking? It's about time we take care of the national debt." You'd be like, "Oh, is he going to kill us? What's going to happen?" I tell you what, though, this would never happen on Spirit Airlines. Not because the pilots are more respectful, it's because the Spirit planes don't have intercoms on them. Pilot uses a can attached to a string. Here in Hollywood, the rapper and actor known professionally as Ice Cube has reportedly backed out of a film he was making with Jack Black because he refuses to get vaccinated, and it is required. The movie is titled Oh Hell No, which coincidentally is also what Ice Cube's wife said when she found out he threw away $9 million because he's too scared to get a vaccine. I love that Ice Cube seems perfectly okay with getting shot by bullets, not the vaccine. That's the shot. Am I right, Guillermo?
That's right.
Thank you, Guillermo.
Right.
We're learning more about who is most at risk of catching COVID. And they did a study in the Netherlands, and they found that those who believe in COVID conspiracy theories are more likely to be infected with the virus. Oh, wait, you mean to tell me people who are attending large gatherings of people claiming a virus spread at large gatherings of people is fake are more likely to catch the virus spread through large gatherings of people? This might be the most shocking study since Morgan Spurlock told us eating McDonald's every meal made him feel bad. Oh, speaking of which, I don't know if you know, but the McRib is back as of today. The McRib, which the beloved sandwich, which pops up somewhat randomly around this time of year, has returned on, of all days, World Vegan Day. This is the day they picked, which proves once and for all that Ronald McDonald is a very sick clown. He's basically the Joker with high cholesterol. But here's another thing that is backed by popular demand. We have a somewhat infamous tradition at Halloween time here at our show. We put it on hold during the pandemic. We did not invite parents to take part in our annual Halloween YouTube Candy Challenge, where they pretend to eat their kids' candy and record it, because it felt like kids have had it hard enough lately. So we started to hold off this year. We did not ask parents to do this, but a lot of parents just went ahead and did it anyway. In fact, I think we got 200 videos. Wow. So, since the kids got pranked anyway, you know, why waste a little? We decided to show just a couple of them, okay? This is just a tiny sample of the unauthorized and unwanted Halloween YouTube challenge for 2021.
I got hungry in the middle of the night, and I went downstairs, and I ate all of your Halloween candy.
I thought you were on a diet.
Guys, you know how we got candy last night? I woke up and I ate all of it. I'm sorry. I ate all your candy.
Come on, you're a dick.
You know who told me to do it? Jimmy Kimmel.
Is he a bad guy?
Mm-hmm.
Papa ate it?
Papa ate it.
He didn't get diarrhea. He didn't get diarrhea.
Well, what's Halloween without it, you know? So anyway, sorry, kids. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. If you want to see all our latest videos, click the subscribe button. And if you don't, click anyway and close your eyes when they come on.